What's up guys? I hope you're having a great day. My name is Michael and in this video we're looking at Yokai Kingdom. So Yokai Kingdom is released yesterday, at least the public sale was yesterday. They released 8,888 NFTs and they sold out pretty damn quick. The day before on the 14th they had their whitelist sale and yesterday there was their public sale. It is going to be an NFT game, eventually it's going to be a play to earn game. They're really focusing on their art. Right now, their game hasn't actually been developed yet. So we're in pretty early and we're gonna obviously see whether we think that this is going to be a good project and worth investing in, yes or no. As we can see here, private mint was on the 14th and public was yesterday. The mint price was only 0.0888 Ethereum. They really like their 8. It's coming back everywhere. But if we look at OpenSea right now, it's on LooksRare as well. LooksRare is getting a lot more attention and exposure lately. A lot of people are starting to trade on LooksRare, and these guys are obviously playing into that, so they're promoting it a lot. It's also on LooksRare, but here we look at OpenSea. So there's still a lot of sales being made. Here you can see the sales right now at 0.25, 0.26. The floor is sitting at 0.27 Ethereum right now, so it's gone up on an X3 already from the original mint price, which I think is pretty healthy. There's some projects that go up insanely, like after the mint price it goes up like a 5x to 7x 8x straight away, which is insane of course, and some of them still fluctuate a little bit at the mint price. They don't really go up, but a 3x is very healthy, I think, especially considering the game hasn't been out yet. What they've said in the roadmap is we're gonna start developing the game as soon as we sell out. So as soon as the milk is sold out, they probably needed the funds of it to be able to get started with the game. Here you can see there's been traded 1.7 Ethereum already, which is quite a lot. They were straight away, I think it is in their Twitter, they posted they were in the top 6 of most traded, highest volume project out there on OpenSea in the last 24 hours, and that's all straight away on day one after the mint released. So that's pretty awesome. The review still needs to happen. This is what it looks like right now, but again, as you can see, there's a lot of trades being made consistently every single hour, multiple trades happening. Every once in a while, here you can see there was one that was able to swoop one away for a little bit lower, but overall the price has been pretty stable in between the 2.5 and 3, or 0.2.5 and 0.3 Ethereum. So what's the project all about? As I said, they really focus on their art, and their main guy, the guy that's been focusing on the main things of their art, his name is Geoda. I think he's an Asian guy. It's a Japanese person, I think, as well. He himself is Japanese, I believe, as well. But he has been he has been working with Facebook, Google, Walt Disney, Sumo Digital Game Studio, and a lot more. He has been working with a lot of massive projects before, or companies before, that believed and trusted in him and his abilities as an artist, which is of course pretty promising, right? So based on Oni, a fearsome yokai spirit, each Genesis launch NFT will be your key to our first planned expansion. The play to earn game on Oni's quest can also be staked to earn Yo, which is going to be their token, the in-game currency, right? This is the story behind it a little bit. I don't know if you guys like this type of art. What I think, a lot of times when we buy NFTs, we're looking at a lot of different things, right? We look at the art, we look at the community, which is very important, the culture of the community, probably the most important thing, the utility behind it. But one of these utilities is, of course, the community and other utilities with staking, with the tokens, with in-game perks, etc. But the art is something that we can't forget about. And even if you don't like the art yourself, I usually recommend getting something that you like the art of yourself as well, but not always. And also you have to look at what's popular, what do other people like, what is attractive to other people, because in the end we're looking at it from an investor's point of view. And the more people like this art, the more exposure it gets, of course, the easier it will be to either sell it again, and the better usually a project performs. Alright, cool. So the story: frustrated by the heroics of Geoda, as brave as warriors to keep his evil spirit army at bay, the Worlokk of the Void cursed them to take the form of the Oni, one of the very enemies they had sworn to protect their people against. Each of these new Oni was different in its own way, inheriting some of the traits of the original human class and tribe, but also those of their own Oni spirit form. Will they be trapped like this forever, or can they break the curse and restore peace of the kingdom? So there's a little bit of an explanation about what the project is gonna be about, which is this. As I said before, they don't have an actual game yet. They haven't developed the game yet. They don't even have a teaser yet, a movie yet. They don't even have a trailer yet. So this is all the information that we have. And although that's not always a positive, usually I want to have some form of proof of development of what they're doing. These guys did openly and honest say that they were still gonna start with the development of the game, but it also means that there's no exposure whatsoever. So if you look at that Twitter, right, there's only 4,400 people following them, which is literally nothing, right? There's no, and still that, here you can see the top six. They're here in the top six already in the last 24 hours traded as volume. But even though there's so little of an exposure, they still have a lot of volume traded, which is a positive sign, right? And then you look at who's following. A lot of the people that I follow are in my Muted Ape Board Ape community, of course, but also Gary V. Gary V is openly following them. He probably thinks at least, that this is a project with potential, and he's early. And although just randomly following somebody is not a good indicator, he actually posted a video on it himself the other day about people just shouldn't just follow whatever he's doing, because if you don't do the research yourself, you're just definitely gonna get wrecked by just blindly following somebody. But it is a good indicator that somebody with a lot of experience, somebody that's been in this field, somebody's in this world for a while and doing a very good job, somebody's making money out of it, that he at least believes in this project, right? Which is something that we can build on, right? And then this is Geoda. He's the main guy that's been doing the NFTs. Similar story, right? He is followed by Gary V, but only 5,000 followers. He's not that known, and he worked with Walt Disney, Facebook, Google. So you would think that he gets a lot of exposure, but maybe he is on a couple of different platforms, a little bit more known rather than Twitter. Twitter might be used for him a little bit like as a newer thing where he only focuses on the NFTs and the crypto space, but at least it's a good indicator that we're early, because you can only expect that if this project is going to do very well, eventually this number is going to go up, and therefore, of course, we can assume that this number is going to go up. So what do we want to know? We want to know whether we should get in right now before the herd does or not. Oni's Quest, so rate, earn, and craft. Oni's Quest is a fun online deck builder card game with a play to earn feature. Use any of the Genesis launch heroes in your wallet to battle through the progressively greater challenges as your attempt to lift the Worlokk's curse. With each run through of the game, you have the chance to earn the in-game currency, the Yo token, and special loot chests containing loadout items that can boost your hero stats and deck. These loadout items will be on-chain NFTs and therefore yours to keep, level, or trade, which again is able to make you more money. Here, if you click on a game preview, you come to this little doc that I just opened up before already. There's not that much information out there, right? So before we get into this, let's look at the roadmap for a second. And I have the roadmap here on their Discord. They do have a little bit more of a following here on their Discord. As you can see, there is members. So there's been 10 bots, only 10 bots. Again, an indicator that they're pretty early. Why? Because something that gets a lot of exposure usually gets a bunch of bots as well. I was in one of the other ones, which was either Oxia Origin. I think it was Oxia Origin. They had like 50,000 bots that they had deleted already. But there's almost 19,000 people here in the Discord. And this is their roadmap. So they talk about the roadmap a little bit different, where there's not that much hype, which is their first sentence, which I actually do like, because the whole crypto scene is just hype, 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 hype. The more hype, the better. And although that is true, you want to get as much hype as possible. If the art sells itself, if the game sells itself, if the whole project sells itself, and you're just sticking with your own principles and you're just being truthful and honest towards everybody out there, it does build up a lot of trust around, the team behind it. So I think that for them is a good decision. Here what I said, first let me clear something up. It seems increasingly common for new projects in this space to make some very bold claims on their roadmaps. Some feel optimistic at best, while others are simply and GMI. So rather than building on roadmap items just because everyone else seems to be, we're taking a different approach. Right, first and foremost, we're here to create beautiful art and fun, engaging experiences on the blockchain. Yokai Kingdom and the associated ancient Japanese mythology and lore provide us with countless ways to create a rich, vibrant metaverse that can continue to evolve over time, right? So they just want to let the project sell itself. They want to let the project grow for itself by just sticking with what they know best, which is their art and which is they're probably developing their game over time. If they can combine their creative art with the actual play to earn game, if the game is actually gonna be easy to play and well set up, they do need a good development team behind it, of course, for that, then yeah, you can expect this game to sell itself. Eventually, they might focus a little bit more on the marketing when they do see the possibilities that they have if the marketing is done well. But at least for now, this is their honest roadmap. So first one, Genesis launch, which happened yesterday. So the hero trading cards based on Oni, a fearsome yokai spirit, set in the magical and mysterious Isle, some words just aren't meant for me, of Geoda. Each Oni is totally unique and will be your key to the Yokai Kingdom metaverse and any future expansions. Aside from rarity differences, each can be one of the four possible classes: Ronin, Warlock, Ninja, and Sohei, which will affect the strategy and experiences in Oni's quest, which we can look into in a second. Some Oni also have rare hero powers, which will also provide extra bonuses in Oni's quest, right? So that's happened just now. The second thing that they're going to focus on is staking for their token. So holder of Genesis launch hero NFTs will be able to stake them to earn Yo in the in-game currency. The higher the rarity tier, so you have common, rare, legendary, and mythic of the Genesis launch card, the higher daily Yo staking returns, which kind of makes sense. That's why the value obviously goes up the more rare your NFT gets. There will be a multiplier effect for staking rewards. The more Genesis NFTs you're staking, the higher number of different uses. You will have a different number of uses from buying in-game loot chests, so containing loaded items such as weapons, armor, special attacking cards, and more. And you will also be used for additional playthrough of the Oni's quest game, right? So that all makes sense. Then you will have when this is happening now when it is 100% sold out. So it's funny how they've put that down here. Kind of just seems like they weren't even expecting to sell out straight away at the start. Because why would this be set up before this if the first thing they're gonna do is when they sell out, that means that they're gonna take action on the game. That should obviously be after the launch straight away, because they should assume that they sold out, which kind of looks like they didn't. But when it's 100% sold out, which is now, the development will be unlocked on Oni's Quest, a Web 3.0 online roguelike deck builder game. We have already started working on this, including baking special properties into the Genesis launch NFTs, such as class and hero power, which will have added significance in the game and playstyle. But we know firsthand that developing apps and games is not for the faint-hearted. It takes a lot of time and money, so that is obviously why they wanted to sell out first, because they want to use that money. Based on experience, we anticipate it could take 420 hours development time alone to deliver Oni's Quest, and that's without factoring in creating the design assets and carefully testing the game's balance. This is the reason for the 100% sold milestone. It'll give us the time and funding to focus on the game full-time, ideally expand the team. So the time, they definitely don't have the time because they sold out straight away on day one. But they do have a lot of the funding, so they can put a big team behind it, because they've sold out 8,888 of these for close to 0.1 Ethereum. So close to, let's say roughly 800 Ethereum is what they've raised with this launch alone already. And now, of course, they've already done 1.7 Ethereum in tradable volume on OpenSea. They get royalties of that, so they have a little bit of money behind them to develop this game. Loot boxes and loadout NFTs. As we get closer to the launch of Oni's Quest, we also plan to release loot boxes that will contain randomized rewards. Rewards from the loot boxes will include a chance of finding loadout NFTs such as armor, weapons, charms, potions, etc., which can be used to boost your in-game hero and or deck. Loadout NFTs can also be traded on secondary markets. Again, this is going to make them money. This will increase the volume of the overall project, of course, but for them, that's just the easy way to be able to get royalties on NFTs traded that will probably again put back into the game. what the tokenomics are going to be like we'll get to in a second. But of course, there is a portion of the money that's being raised that's going to go to them themselves. But the more money does go to the development of a project, the faster we can expect it to go. So what about longer term? There's because we're still so early, nothing has been developed yet. Yes, they have sold out quickly. Yes, the price has gone up 3x already. So when you look at it that way, yeah, sure, you would have rather minted one, but that's not always for everybody. I think there's like 4 or 6,000 people holding these NFTs, so most people have multiple, meaning not everybody's going to be able to mint one. And then you need to decide whether you want to get in, even though the price has been 3x from original mint price already. Yes or no? Is there still reach in there semi short term, or do you want to hold this for the longer term? All right, that's a question you got to ask yourself first, of course, before you can make any moves. But what about longer term? There's so many things that we are excited about: 3D renders, physical prints, layer 2 scaling solutions, and the incredible nascent possibilities for NFTs moving forward. As the market and tech continues to evolve, we will continue to explore them as possibilities for the Yokai Kingdom metaverse, where it adds genuine value to project and community. This could, so the word could indicates that they're not even sure yet, so this is all speculation, could include continue build a rich, vibrant metaverse by exploring more characters and legends from ancient yokai lore, perhaps even time shifting forward to another expansion of the metaverse, but this time set in a dystopian mecha era, set in the of future Geoda. Damn, what a sentence! Full of part cyber groaning and ninjas belling evil spiritual. What's not to love? So this is just speculation of something that they might develop, something that's happening within the future, as a second part of the game, right? But they haven't even fully developed the first game yet. Continue listening to the holder community and what they would like to see next. So honestly, if you look at this, they're just not really sure how, what, when, and where, right? They're just kind of throwing a couple of balls up just to see whatever people like and whatnot. This is probably something that they thought about, but like, ah, cool, we can do something in the future. Let's see what the reactions are going to be like from the people. And if nobody likes it, we just skip it. If everybody does like it, we can, we can actually create something out of that. But this does goes to show that for the longer term, there's not really a plan yet there, right? Is that a big deal? Well, normally you would say yes. In the real world, you would say yes. But if you look at the whole crypto scene, kind of doesn't really matter, because a lot of these projects, they don't have anything to show and they don't have anything built up yet, but they're raising millions and millions and millions of dollars. That is hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that are getting into this project just purely from a simple trailer, for example, right? I made a video a while back on Champions Ascension. It's like a triple A game, like very high budget that's been put in there, which has a lot of potential. But they have one single trailer, which is just a trailer. Everybody can make a trailer with a little bit of money, of like 1.5 minutes, which kind of shows what the game is going to be like. And people are so excited about it, but you haven't seen any actual in-game trailer or photos or nothing yet. So, and that's not the only one. That kind of counts for 90% of the projects out there right now. So goes to show that you don't need a proper set out plan yet, as long as your original design and the foundation at the start is enough to get people excited. All right, cool. Genesis launch heroes can be staked to earn the in-game currency called Yo. Daily staking rewards will depend on the rarity, of course, so the common, the rare, the legendary, and the mythic. And you also will have special editions. They get a little bit more. Staking multipliers will be applied, so a 20% multiplier will be added each additional hero. So if you have 2 commons and 1 legendary, your staking would be as follows. You would have 2 times 80, 1 times 160, which is mentioned here. And all 3 hero stakes is 2 times 20% bonus, because you have 2 additional heroes, makes total sense, plus 40%. So that is pretty high of a reward if you would stake more. So that does make it, for people that want to get the token, it does make it a little bit, or not a little bit, pretty damn attractive to get multiple NFTs. The utility, it'll be free to play game a number of times per week to level your deck and farm resources, but additional playthrough will require the token. You will be required to purchase in-game resources such as loot boxes, which have a chance to drop loadout NFTs such as weapons, armor, charms, companies, etc. They can be used to boost your hero stats and or starting deck of cards. These loadout items will be on-chain NFTs and therefore yours to keep, level, or trade. crafting and leveling items to boost your heroes and deck. Yo can also be won by playing game through tournaments. Alright, makes sense. It'll be an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain. No current or future value of Yo is assumed. 1 Yo is 1 Yo. So there's, I'm gonna assume nothing out there yet of them creating a token that's also gonna be traded on exchanges, etc. There's no other value apart from the in-game value. So I'm curious to see whether they're gonna keep up with that or not when they see how much money they're making off the NFTs, how many people are gonna come towards this project. Obviously, they will develop a token, whether it's gonna be different token or set this token up that's gonna have real life value. Right, staking will be available from Q1 already, so shortly after the review. When the exact review is, I haven't actually seen yet, because it's not in the roadmap here. There's nothing here about the review, nothing here about facts either. This is something totally different. So when that's happening, when the review is happening, we don't really know yet. But that they're actually gonna start the staking already pretty early is also a good indicator that they'll probably get started with the game early. Maybe they have a better version coming up soonish. So Owner's Quest, this is something that we saw pop up a little bit more often, but this again is a little bit of an explanation is about the actual game, right? And close to the launch, they'll also intend to launch loadout NFTs, so close to the launch of the game, this is gonna happen. What then we want to know, because there's nothing informational wise here that we benefit from. Floor price here, that's cool that they put the floor price down, but we want to see the game, right? What's there in the game? So about Owner's Quest, it's a roguelike deck builder card game with play to earn features, a one of several potential future expansions to the Yokai Kingdom metaverse, so they potentially expand their metaverse. They hope to create and depend upon the success of the Genesis. That we hope to create depend on the success of their fully build everything about depending on the success of the Genesis launch. They sold out instantly and they already have 1.7k in tradable volume, so I think that was a pretty damn success. Now let's see how fast they're gonna develop everything else, right? What do I need to play? Anyone can play, but if you hold a Kingdom NFT in your Web3 wallet, for example MetaMask, then you'll get in-game benefits, better starting stats, special power heroes, etc. using that hero. So you could probably play the game as well without even holding a hero, just free to play. Additionally, each Genesis hero belongs to one of 4 possible classes: warriors, mage, ninja, and monk. 4 classes: warrior, mage, ninja, and monk. And here, what did it say in the roadmap? It said something like this as well, didn't it? But it said something different. I believe, at least, that they said something different here. 4 classes: Ronin, Worlokk, Ninja, and Sohai. 4 rarity differences and 4 classes. So they, yeah, that's different. Warrior, Mage, Ninja, and Monk is something different than what they've said here. So apparently, there might be a little bit of a different word for it. I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm the stupid one here, but I think that they've changed things up a little bit. They should at least make sure that matches with each other. Even if this does mean the same thing, I don't know if it does. They should make sure that the words are the same, that it matches up. Because somebody like myself that doesn't really know what, for example, I don't really know what a Ronin is or a Worlokk is or a Sohei, especially not what a Sohei is. I've heard these words before, but make sure that they match up with each other, right? Alright, cool. That being said, the story, we've seen the story a little bit already, but the Warlock of the Void, frustrated by the heroics of Geoda, bravest warriors to keep his evil spirit army at bay, cursed them to take the form of the Oni, one of the very enemies he had sworn to protect. Their people against. Yeah. Choose your path. So monster battles shine for adding or removing cards from the playthrough deck. Starting deck loaded, leveling. Alright, cool. That's important. Leveling stuff that we want to know a little bit more about how to use these NFTs, right? Where is the money? That's our angle. What's the money aspect of holding these NFTs or potentially getting these loadout cards, right? Are people able to earn these loadout cards for just playing the game by using one of those normal NFTs? Yes or no? So you can start each game with a fixed starting deck of cards specific to your class that allows you to perform action. You'll be able to add and remove cards to your deck during each playthrough, but these changes don't carry into the next game. However, you'll also be able to customize your hero by supplementing these with additional permanent loadout NFTs such as armor, weapons, charms, and companions. Each loadout item will give you an additional starting card. All right, perfect. Loadout cards are different from your starting deck, however, as these NFTs can be leveled or merged to increase their power and rarity respectively. Some loadout NFTs are more scarce and powerful than others. You'll also be able to buy or sell them on secondary markets. Makes total sense. We kind of want to get the original one, right? You kind of want to just get one of the heroes, right? When we're close to the game launch, the loaded NFTs expansion will be released with special drops and minting privileges. There we go. That's what we wanted to know. The last sentence. Special drops and minting privileges for Genesis NFT holders. So what can we assume from this? Simply by looking at the history of all other projects out there, what we know here is that when this is happening, so when we're getting close to the game launch, people are gonna want to buy the Genesis NFT, so the hero NFTs that's been released yesterday, because you will get special drops and minting privileges. So the floor price is probably going up when that happens. Well, we don't know a date yet because we don't know when the game releases, but at least this is valuable information because we know that when this is happening, the price is going to go up. Do we then know whether the price is going to continue to rise from here on, or is it going to fluctuate down a little bit? That will probably depend on, you know, how fast the project is going to move forward. Most people don't really want to wait for that long before something new happens, because your money, the people that like the game obviously do, but your money is still locked, right? Your money is locked for however long you need to wait for that project to, you know, do the next big thing that's going to help you increase your investment again. I want to give an example here. For example, Citizens of Boulevard, I made a video on it less than 48 hours ago. Floor price was sitting at 0.15 at the time, but the floor price went up from 0.1 to 1.5 quite a lot already. So if we look at the last 7 days, you see the price moving up, right? It was sitting at just a little bit over a week ago, it was sitting at 0.1, and then it had a massive rise here. It jumped up a little bit, no idea exactly why, but there was a stable increase in floor price, and it was yesterday, the floor price was sitting at 0.22, 0.22. It's dropped down a little bit again, but it is roughly 0.20. Why am I giving this example? Tomorrow they are releasing their beta version of the game, which will allow people that, like, the concept is you have the bulls, and with owning one of these bulls, you'll be able to mint or hunt for one of the bears, which is going to be the next NFT they're releasing. And by doing so, the price has increased and has risen quite a lot, because people want to get those NFTs, so they'll be able to get another one, right? Exact same story here. People will want to get one of those NFTs because it's going to allow them to have special drops and minting privileges. Long story short, we know that before this happens, the price is going to go up. Do we want to wait that long, hold them now already and see how that happens? Or do we just want to keep an eye out for how the development goes and maybe get in before something like this is going to be announced or something like this is happening, right? Hero classes, Ronin, Worlokk, Ninja, Sohai. So this is a little bit different again than what's said on the first page. Probably I'm going to assume that it means the same. Here we go. Warrior, Monk. Sohai is the Monk, the Mage. That makes sense again. So that problem is solved. So why not just use the same word, right? But all right, cool. Maybe that's just me focusing on the small details that don't really matter for most people. But this is the gameplay. All right, cool. So it's a little bit of a card game. I'm not gonna go through these words. It's too small for me. Difficult handwriting. But all right, the rewards. For each playthrough attempt, you have a chance of winning rare, powerful, loaded NFT cards to add to your starting deck. Yo is the in-game metaverse currency, and players can unlock progressively higher difficulty levels by completing the quest. Public tournaments, so there are going to be tournaments as well. You score points for each playthrough. Players topping the public leaderboards also have a chance of winning rewards. About Yo, there we go, this is important. Yo is the in-game currency. How do you earn it? By playing, by staking. And what can you spend it on? Additional playthrough of Oni's quest, upgrading or fusing loaded NFTs or for rarer, more powerful items. And that's all. That's all the information that we have on this little play deck. I guess the game preview is what it's called, but the little deck about explanation of what the actual game is. So there's different levels of rarity. If we look at this though, if we look at this art, I do really like the look of it. It's not necessarily my style. I don't necessarily focus on this style. I really like the 3D type of like as if you would just be able to go into it as if it's real, like the Call of Duty type of style or World of Warcraft type of style games, which just makes it look very very high quality. But this style, it is looking very just smooth, very tight, and I think the quality of this style is from a very high grade, right? So the guy behind it, of course, knows what he's doing, and a lot of people are attracted to this. So this is definitely going to get some very good exposure because a lot of people want to be able to be part of something that looks like this. So rarity, each owner is unique and painstakingly created from hundreds of carefully hand-drawn traits. But they don't just differ in appearance, they also possess other characteristics which will be significant to your experiences in the game. So you have guild classes, ranks, and hero power. Whether you get a Ronin, Warlock, Sohair, or Ninja, and they have all different strategies and perks, of course, within the game. You have different ranks, common, rare, legendary, and 88 ultra rare mythical heroes. Makes sense. Hero power. So I'm gonna assume. So I don't really know whether that's gonna be true or not. Of course, so do your own research before you take on some statement that I'm making here now. But the price is now up, of course, from the mint price, right? When they're gonna be released, when the review comes, it is gonna depend which one you have, what the price is gonna be. Whether if you have a rare, legendary, or ultra rare, of course, the price is gonna go up even more. As for the commons, though, the price might drop a little bit because there's hype around it now. People want to get these NFTs. They're like excited. Oh, I might get a rare, I might get a legendary one. But if you end up just having a common, you might have three of them. You have three commons. You can expect the price to drop a little bit for those commons. Not always. In some cases, that's not true. With Chumby Valley, for example, the price just kept going up even for the lower one. But in some cases, right? If you're minted one, you're definitely sweet because the price is not going to go below mint price when a project is getting this much exposure and kind of, hype on OpenSea already. They have traded a lot of volume already in such a short time. So you wouldn't expect it to go below the 0.08888, but it can definitely drop below the price that it is at now. So if you're going to buy in now and you have a comment or you have three comments or more, then there is a possibility that the price goes back down a little bit again. Then you have the hero power. The Warlock's magical transformation has also gifted some lucky Oni with rare and unusual powers. These will give you an extra special card to add to your starting deck. The roadmap, we've looked at the roadmap, the NFT launch, staking the tokens. When this is all done, which we've looked at, they're gonna develop the quest game, loot boxes, loadout NFTs, and then Q2, Q3 later on this year, they're gonna have the game launch. Dust off those katanas, I don't know what that means. It's the launch of Oni's quest. Which of your heroes will you pick first to try and lift the Warlock's curse? You can find out more about plans of the game here in the teaser, which is probably that same thing that we looked at before. So that's kind of all the information that we have, right? Here's the team, which we can look at. We can look at Geoda a little bit, the main guy behind it, and then the simple facts, which doesn't give us a whole lot of information. So if we look at this guy, we've already had it open. He has a Linktree page here, and this is of course the NFT project that we just looked at. There's NFT collectibles of him, crypto art, portfolio, Instagram, or maybe his Instagram has something to show for. What else is there? His Twitter, his Behance, Choose Love Shop. We can look at his portfolio a little bit, but here same thing, less than 10,000 people that's following him. So not a whole lot of people that know of him. I do really like this type of art, but he's not that known yet, which is kind of weird if you think about that. He worked for example, Walt Disney, which is a massive thing, right? This is probably him. If you work for Walt Disney, Facebook, Google, then you would think that you have a lot of exposure, that you have a pretty big name, but maybe he's not really one of those guys that's trying to get as much exposure out there as possible and consistently be talked about. Maybe he's just doing a very good job, with his work, with his art, and big companies want to use his skill set. So please let me know, guys, what you think of this project. Have you heard of it before, yes or no? And what do you think of the art? Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. If you could hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.